Alright, let's jump on Eliza next and see what they've done to her. I read the patch notes and I was a little bit worried. It seemed like they had buffed a couple of things, but it's another character where I feel like they've attacked her best move a little bit, which is her EX dive kick. And it seemed like they had reduced the damage of that by something like 50%. It was pretty big, but we're going to have to find out if there was a reason for that, you know. A lot of these it changed what it does on hit things where you don't know what they mean until you actually see it. So let's start by comparing the damage of Corsica back 2 and Corsica back 1. So that's 22 now, and that's still 20. So this is a more powerful version, and I theorized that this was maybe going to change your optimal wall combo. So let's see if that's true. Let's use a 4 for the splat. So that was your old combo, it does 52, but now if you do the vertical version of that slice, you get 53. Okay, so it's a very small and not very significant change to that, but it is going to be your optimal option to go for the 2 version of this combo now. Another thing that I wanted to try is that they buffed her butt smash, right, to do a lot more damage. It does 26 now, which is a lot more. I think it did 20 before, so it's much more heavy, and you might be able to get some decent combos by using this now, I think. See, that's pretty high at 46. It's kind of like a standard combo, you know, it's like in jab, down for one shoulder kind of thing. But let's see if you can get the ass smash after a dive kick. So that's still 46, but that wasn't proper scaling. Let's try and delay it a little bit. A little bit more. There you go, and you get 51. So this is actually an option for a wall combo right now. It's pretty good damage, and it's around the same neighborhood as your optimal thing, which is going to be that. So pretty cool. Probably not too significant, so let's get away from the wall and look at some other stuff. So they reduced the oh, sorry, there we go. So they reduced the tracking of this thing, which is sad because it used to have good tracking, but they made the initial hit a little bit better. So maybe now if you're good at sniffing out counter hits, it's going to be a more useful counter hit tool, but it's not going to be good for catching sidewalkers anymore, which is sad because it used to be good for that. This caught a damage nerf and it doesn't even spark anymore, as you can see here. It does 17 now as opposed to 20, but it is still going to be a very good move. You use this mainly for its counter hit properties. Right, what else? Okay, so the big one that we have to check out is that they've changed her super, right? And they've made it so that you can get this super guaranteed after DP2. So theoretically I should be able to turn a 10 frame jab into a full launch doing it here, and let's see if the timing is going to be super strict or something, but let's try it out and see what happens. Okay, so that worked, and then what do you spin with? 4-4-3, 4 maybe, or maybe running 1. That's another move they buffed, by the way. I think it gives you a plus frame now. Okay, so that works. 80 damage, that's pretty good for a 10 frame block punisher. So now if you are sitting ugly on 2 bars with Elisa and you want to punish and you have the 2 bars and you're confident in your ability to pull this off, it's not hard. The timing is actually very forgiving, which I didn't expect. I thought this was going to be strict, but you can buffer this way early and it's going to work just fine. So that's really cool. Okay, so another thing they changed that I want to check out is that you can apparently, if you want to get EX Moonglide after like a fireball, you can just press forward 3+4 now, and that works just fine. Okay, that works really well. So it's going to be lowering the execution threshold for Alisa and make her a little bit easier for people to pick up, because this EX Moonglide here is actually pretty important to do, and now you can just do it with forward 3+4, which is a lot easier, so that's nice. Okay, what else do we need to look at? I am forgetting a lot of stuff. Well, they made this move much better. It doesn't knock down anymore. I think it knocked down in a way before, but it's like a more legit backswing blow now. It's still punishable. You can see she doesn't jump quite as far, I think, but it still has the evasive properties. And it's good for this to be more usable, I think. But then they made this move just crappy, because even if the first hit connects, I think you can low parry this now, which means that that's what good players are going to do. So it's like kind of a crappy move right now, which is sad. Okay, what else? They made your EXDP a little bit more consistent, I think. Okay, and yeah, and they changed your EX Fireball. So let's have a look at EX Fireball, because the Fireball 1, this had some buffs. It's safe on block, now at -9. And then they said that they changed the way this works on hit. So let's try this. Oh wow, okay, that was interesting. Okay, so do you get EX Moonglide here? It looks like they're giving you EX Moonglide. Let's look at the bar. Yeah, so, okay, so what you need to know right now is I'm not, this EX Moonglide that she does after the second Fireball, I'm not doing an input for that. That is coming out completely automatically. And this is typically something you have to spend bar to get out, like this, like that. But this is just coming out completely for free. I'm doing nothing to get it out. So it looks like you can now get a completely free EX Moonglide, but you sort of have to do it. But what I want to know now is does that mean that you can actually combo here? If that's the case, then these fireballs are going to be very good. Let's try it out. Okay, yeah, that works fine. Okay, that's crazy. So they've turned EX fireballs into just a full normal hit launcher. That's really, really cool. It's not huge damage, but it has really good potential. I can imagine this being good for wall carry. Say, for example, that you launch from like this range and then you cancel maybe a down 3 into this. And then you can still spin, right? Yeah, that's pretty big. That's actually really cool. I like this. Yeah. Okay, so definitely a big buff to EX Fireballs. Maybe not a change that we were necessarily looking for, but they didn't really see a lot of use, so maybe that's cool. Oh yeah, we gotta check out the EX Dive Kick. Yeah, you can see that the damage of this is substantially nerfed right now. It's a lot less. And that's sad, because this used to be one of your best moves. It didn't do huge damage. You usually got something like 60 for a combo, which isn't all that huge, but now you're gonna get quite a bit less. And it's a lot easier to transition into Moonglide, I have to say, so that's cool. Yeah, let's try and see if we can get that with a wall combo at the end and see how much it does. Yeah, 68. So that is a situation where you have gotten would have gotten a lot more damage before the damage nerf to this. I think maybe that's it for Eliza. I can't remember if they changed anything else significant. Less pushback on the 2 and the down jab, which is good because it's going to make it easier to chain your dive kick harassment, which is pretty cool. Anything else? I don't think so, but I'm probably missing something. I'm sorry about that, but I'm going to move on for now. I think the biggest things is this EX Fireball being a launcher, and I'm wondering what this is going to entail for your combo game going forward. It's probably going to be very useful. I mean, can you do stuff like... Yeah, and you can still turn that into combos. I'm a little bit stale here, but basically what I'm trying to check is if you can like do a jump in here, get a 2-2, and then launch them with the EX Fireball, and it looks like that's going to be completely possible. No issue at all. Okay, I got to do it a little bit earlier. There it is. Yeah, that's good damage. That's really good damage. And I think this is maybe important because your wall bounce is your EX Moonglide 2 right now, right? So you have to do that. Okay, and then you have to hold back with Alisa, otherwise she's going to sleep like that and you're not going to be able to get your combo. So that's going to be annoying when you mess that up. But let's hold back properly. Okay, and then you can get your wall combos. That's cool. I don't think it's going to be a lot of wall bouncing for Eliza because it's really well tucked away in an EX stance. I mean, you can't use the regular version, and you can't use the regular Moonglide version. It is stated in the patch notes that it needs to come. You need to spend blood bar to get the wall bounce. And then the other really significant change is, of course, the fact that you potentially have one of the most powerful 10-frame block punishers in the game now, because you can turn a jab into a full launch using the Bloody Horn super, and that's cool. So overall, I think I like the changes, I think, but I'm gonna have to try out what this is going to mean for how she plays normally. I think she still has the 4-4-3-4, which is so important, and she still has counter hit properties on the down. For her dive kick force, harassment got slightly buffed because of the nerfed pushback. So yeah, I think she's still going to be in a pretty good spot. She was never super strong, but she was always super cool, and I think she's going to remain super cool. So cool enough. Moving on, who should we look at next? I think we should talk about Kazumi, because this is a character that my feelings looking at the patch notes yesterday and playing with her in game before the season dropped was that she's been pretty much gutted, and I hope I'm wrong, but we'll have to see. Let's go to the Mishima Dojo. Okay, so they nerfed the overall frame data of her jab strings. We already know that. That's not interesting to look at in game. It's just something to be aware of. It is big though. 2-1 is going to come out slower, so I don't think 2-1 is going to be very good. But we need to sort of try everything, but because based on that thing that Lars can do right now, who knows? Maybe all of a sudden one of these moves is going to turn out to be the best 12-frame launcher and punisher in the history of the game, right? You never know. It's crazy times to be alive. Okay, so the 2-1 I think is going to be pretty crappy now. Okay, so the first one thing I want to try is that they said that down 1-2 was going to turn into a throw. Okay, so this is what they mean. It's actually going to turn into your normal rage drive, your power crush. It's a lot of damage. 60 damage is really big, but this isn't going to have as much pushback, it said, so let's have a look at the pushback. Okay, so it has no pushback at all right now, so that's going to be very punishable. So it's huge damage when it hits, but it's a little bit too dangerous to try, and I think this is natural on counter hit, so let's try that. Okay, so it is a natural counter hit string for 63 damage, which is very big, but you're going to have to make sure that you actually get the counter hit, otherwise you're going to get punished hard here. It's a very cool option, but I don't know how much use it's actually going to see. Alright, next we have to talk about 1+2. Now, I've mentioned many times before that this is one of my favorite moves in the game and my favorite move with Kazumi, and it has had a substantial damage nerf. It's still going to be 30, which is something. It's not crappy. So I'm still going to be using the move at 30. But the question is this going to change your wall combo with the character? So let's have a look at that. Let's go to the wall. So you used to do, if I wall splatted from here, I would do this against Paul. Okay, drops it there. That's 65 now, so that's still pretty big. It's still pretty big, but who knows if you're actually going to want to go for something else here now. Who knows what else you have? I mean, people have done all kinds of stuff for her for wall combos. I mean, some people used to do like 1-2, down 2, because they liked the Oki option, but that's really low damage. Yeah, and they buffed this throw to do more damage when it wall splats. So let's try that. Yeah, so that's still big, but it's not as huge as it used to be. And a thing that I've talked about many times is how Kazumi actually has pretty crappy combo game, at least in terms of her damage. Her carry is alright. You know, she has convertible stuff, but her damage has always been low, and the sort of saving grace for her was the fact that she didn't have to combo all that much because she had really good jabs and really good pokes to keep her satisfied for damage without having to do many combos, and then her wall game was so good that if she comboed and got the wall, then she had more than enough damage that it was very dangerous. But now if her wall combo is going to be weaker and all of her important pokes are going to be weaker, then I think it's actually a pretty substantial nerf to the character, and she's going to be characterized going forward by low combo damage, which is never fun. Okay, let's check out the stature kick. Okay, this still feels like it has really good range, so this is still going to be a useful move. That's very good. So when they said reduced hitbox, they probably meant less tracking. They probably did the same thing to this, but these lows still seem useful. So you still have your stature kick and you still have your Crimson Dawn, because they didn't touch Crimson Dawn as far as I know. So some of your most important pokes are still alive, but your jab strings are a lot worse. What else? Okay, yeah, you're supposed to be flying around. So one thing I want to check out is that they said that you can cancel fly back into fly forward. Oh wow, okay. So this is very different from what I was expecting, because in the preview they showed her doing this, which is slow and not a good thing to do for whiff punishing because of how slow it is. But it looks like, look, you can cancel it on a dime and go back forward really quickly. That might actually make it a useful move for creating whiffs. It's like a built-in manual little backdash thing. It remains to be seen exactly how useful it's going to be, but it's more useful than we were led to believe when we saw the initial preview. So maybe that's cool. And then the moves out of flight, this was changed, so this doesn't do a knockdown anymore. It's just 20 damage, and looks like maybe it forces crouch. This is not a launcher anymore, but it's safe on block now and does a very far knock away. So I'm gonna guess that, yeah, this is the wall bounce move, right? So what would you want to do? As it bounces from very far out. So what do we want to do for a re-wall splat with Kazumi? Would be a good option. Let's try some stuff out. Maybe Hunting Hawk. But you can't really get a combo after that. But that's really cool. They buffed Hunting Hawk, so it's a move you're going to be using more, and I like Hunting Hawk first. So that's cool. Maybe Wild Standing 4-4. Probably a bad idea. Almost worked, yeah. And so you can actually spin them before they get back up into the wall, so you don't have to re-wall splat. Pretty interesting. Yeah, nerfed tracking on the axe kick, which is sad because this is a very good move. It's not something that you want her to get nerfed. Worse damage but better recovery on the Sonic the Hedgehog moves is another thing that they did right, which makes sense because some of these moves are currently punishable on hit, which is very unique. You can see she does the, you know, I choose you Pokemon point here, and that was so slow that the opponent could actually get up and punch you on hit before, so that change maybe makes sense. Oh, and another thing I really wanted to see for Kazumi is that they said that they buffed this parry, or this reversal, and I love this move. It's so cool. I love the animation, I love the idea of it, but it's what it used to do is like the tiger comes out and attacks so slowly that it didn't really work all that well. So let's record Paul doing some attacks here. So what would be a good idea? Maybe down, maybe like jab, jab, down forward one. Let's try that. And let's see if they've actually made this better. If they have, then I'm going to be very happy. Oh, it's a lot faster. Yeah, this is pretty easy actually to get the reversal with right now. This is not like one of those fringe. This reminds me more of something like Asuka's reversal. This is very easy to do right now. Might be a super viable option to get you out of pressure situations. It still does 30 damage and gives you a chunky knockdown. And I'm playing around with the timing a little bit, but it actually seems to be pretty forgiving. Yeah, look, I'm activating it when Paul is practically in my hitbox. So Paul is trying to get into Kazumi's box here, and when he does, I throw a tiger at him. Yeah, it seems like it's a substantial buff to that parry, and this is a sleeper hit. I think that's going to be important for you. Overall, I think the character is nerfed, unless it turns out that flying around like this is now super awesome or something, and it might be. I mean, you have a Hell Sweep. So yeah, and I think this is the coolest change, actually. I really love this. And again, I'm probably missing something here. Let's have a quick look at the patch notes to see if I'm missing something. During Fearless Warrior 3, yeah, we talked about that. Down forward 3, this was normalized. Down back 2, yeah, this was nerfed but has better tracking. Oh, it feels really slow now. Look how slow that is. Okay, I think this low is going to be crap now. Maybe not, but probably. Yeah, they buffed Hunting Hawk. Alright, I think that's basically it for what I wanted to talk about with Kazumi. Should we look at something more before we wrap this one up? I'm thinking so much about so many different moves. I'm jumping all over the roster making videos. So I'm getting a little bit tired. Actually, what I feel like I want to do right now is just chill out, stop YouTubing, and kind of play the game in my own time and just have a little bit of fun, and then get back to making content over the next couple of days when I have more to talk about. So if we're going to look at one more thing before we wrap this up, I guess we should have a quick peek at Alisa, right? To those of you who have been commenting that you want me to talk about Gigas, by the way, I'm sorry that I haven't done that. I have tried out Gigas in practice mode off cam, and what I found is that I don't think they've done too much to help him based on what I could understand. But then again, I said that about Lars, and looked what happened to him with that new 421. So as far as I can tell, I don't think there are substantial buffs for Gigas. He has that new while standing Punisher. I really like the fact that 442 was made completely safe in all situations, even at the wall. That is something that I actually brought up in a recent video on Gigas, and it's a change for him I suggested as making sense. And like I've said before, I like it because I make a lot of these videos like this is how I would change this character, and when they actually change it that way, they're obviously not listening to me because I don't have a substantial enough channel, but it sort of makes me feel like I have a functioning understanding of Tekken mechanics, at least a little bit, which feels good when you're making videos like this. But enough about that. Let's talk about Alisa. Oh, 444 too with Gigas is mid now, which sounded really good until I found out that they made it punishable. So I'm not sure how I feel about that either. But yeah, she has a new Power Crush. Wow, that looks really fast for a Power Crush, really. So let's make Paul swing into it again. This music, by the way, has got to be the best Tekken track of all time, right? I absolutely love this music. I could listen to this for ages. It's what I use in the lobby when I'm waiting for matches, by the way. And I haven't gotten tired of it yet. Okay, let's try that. Yeah. Feels really good. Comes out fast. The armor property is there. That was fast enough that we didn't even need the armor. But you can see, with the Power Crush parry with Kazumi, you can do this very late, and Paul can basically be in Elisa's hitbox, and the armor's still going to work. Another big change here is that this move was made available from Destructive stance, so you actually have a Power Crush from Destructive now, which is pretty big news. So let's try that out. Yeah, so that works as well, and that's really cool. So that's something to be excited about. Let's try some new Alisa combos. I was talking about the fact that I thought this move was going to be more useful for spinning, and it looks like that's true, but the damage isn't quite as high as I was hoping, maybe. And I also theorized that maybe this down back 2-2 is going to be a more useful combo string, and it looks like that might be the case as well. It connected that one time on there. Maybe not, actually. Maybe if I'm a little bit closer. Okay. So I think maybe I should give up on that idea. But what else? Let's just do some simple combos like this. Okay, so it's not as much damage as I was expecting because they buffed the damage of both of these strings, but maybe not enough to make them super viable in combos. It should be mentioned that down 4-2, which I'm using here, is a weak launcher, so let's mess around with the hop kick a little bit. Yeah, that's respectable, but if I was launching from this range, what would I have done if I wanted to try to get the wall normally? I wouldn't get the wall if I did her max damage, because that doesn't work, you know, this thing. It's just going to do that, and then if wall splatted, sometimes you can get the 3, and sometimes you can get the, that 3, and sometimes you can get the 1, but you're not going to get a wall combo, it's just the same ender you would have used normally. And then what else would I have used here? I would probably have done something like... No. Okay, so it was still possible to get the wall for good damage even at that range, but I think the fact that you have this for an option for a spin mover now, this thing is gonna help in some cases when you want to have like a mid-range wall carry option for your spin, but it's probably not going to be the factor that I was assuming that it was going to be. This string was buffed to give you plus frames on block now, which is really cool. Oh, let's try out the sort of sucking capabilities of these chainsaw moves that used to have pushback enough that they didn't hit naturally. Okay, so you can see that last night when we did this, we got 7, 4, 5, 3, 2 hits. We got different amounts of hits every time, but now we're getting 7, 6, 7, 7. Okay, so it looks like as long as you're close, you're going to get the full 7 hits. And if you're slightly spaced out, you might get some inconsistency still. They changed this as well, right? Yeah. And that feels more consistent to me, and this as well. Okay. So buffs to chainsaws. I think the biggest thing is probably that you have that power crush there right now, and it's really impressive. Oh, and they made this thing. Which one is it? The nope, not that one. Oh yeah, that they made that a natural combo. That's actually pretty big. Really cool. We can test if it actually is natural. So stand and then guard. Yeah, completely natural, so nothing they can do about that now. Very cool. So overall, like I say, I think they just... Oh, and they gave this spin properties. It's not going to counter hit launch or anything, right? No. So you might be able to use this in combos if you want to. Respectable damage. That very simple little combo there did 57, so this might actually be pretty good. Let's try this. Alright, 63, so that's not bad. So this might actually be a useful combo option for you right now. It's a big damage spin move. It's very easy to use. You know, it's just that one chunky hit. It might be very easy to just throw out after a low parry if it works in that situation. So yeah, cool change. Anything else I really wanted to try here? I can't really remember. Well, they gave this plus frames on hit, so you can use this to get in. And it's good because she goes to the side and then jumps in like that. Oh, I want to check out the recovery on electric sidestep 1. Yeah. This move is really cool. I like this move. It does 25 damage. It's really big. So if that's going to be more viable, then that's a big buff to your electric sidestep because you can do stuff like, you know, this, like 1-1 into chainsaws and then do a big evasive jump like that and then get 25 damage and a knockdown. Oh, can we jiggle the boobies? No, it doesn't work. You can do it one at a time. You can do this and this. And you can't do it fast anymore. Okay, so they did actually nerf that out of the game. Can't believe they actually did it, but yeah, okay. Unfortunate. Anything else? Reduced pushback for this on block, so let's try that. Yeah, that definitely is less pushback. I don't mind that at all. Or sorry, did it get pushback? Is that what happened? Yeah, I'm saying that completely wrong. It got pushback. It doesn't look like it has much pushback. It's so little that I actually think that they changed it the other way. Okay, so I think I might have been right, because my prediction as to why they did this was that you were so close in your opponent's hitbox that Yoshi could get flash as a punish here, and maybe now he can't get that anymore, and they just changed it a little bit so that you're not really like on top of the opponent, and you can't get flash anymore here to improve her matchup against Yoshimitsu. If I was right about that change, I'll be chuffed, because that's a pretty niche little buff. But yeah, Alisa, cool stuff. I like it, but a lot of it is just frame data, which is not interesting to look at in a video like this. You know, it's not going to be dramatic stuff popping on the screen necessarily. I'm probably going to be doing some combo videos with her going forward, because I know some people have been asking for that, and I'm definitely going to be playing this character going forward. So if I'm going to give you my sort of conclusion of the changes to the characters that I've been interested in and that I'm going to play going forward, I think now having actually tried this in game, I think the biggest buffs actually happened to Miguel overall. I think he's going to be a stronger character. He was sort of low tier, and I think he's going to be lower mid at least, maybe even sort of mid tier. And maybe even stronger, it's difficult to tell, but I think the overall changes to him are synergizing in a way where he's going to be just a categorically stronger character. And I'm going to say the exact same thing about Alisa. I think she was already pretty good, and I already kind of enjoyed her the way she was. They gave this more damage, by the way. Wow, it's a big hit now, 37. This is natural. You might actually even want to use this in combos. Yeah, it's really big now. Anyway, yeah, I'm getting caught up in trying more stuff right now. But yeah, I think Elisa and Miguel got overall buffs and are going to be just better characters. Elisa was already pretty good, Miguel was pretty poor, and it's going to be huge quality of life improvements for people who play them. They weren't popular characters before, but they were two of my favorites, and that just makes me happy. The last team I mained, the main team I had during the last days of Tekken Tag 2 was actually Elisa and Miguel, so for me it feels a little bit like coming home, and I kind of like that. For Lars, I think that change to him is very odd, and if it's an intentional change, I'll say this. I don't think if you want to buff a character, the way to do it really is not to just stick one move that is extremely powerful on the character. What you want to do is create a synergy or more, like in the move list, or more stuff that interacts with the iconic and most powerful moves of the character to make them more threatening while remaining themselves, while still feeling like a character that does the things that they usually do. But just sticking the best 12 frame move ever on any character would obviously make them better, but it doesn't really feel like they've really sat down and thought long and hard about Lars's overall design. They've just put a very good move on him, and they've hoped that that's going to work. It's kind of like how previously I think Devil Jin's Hell Sweep was considered, at least by me, probably the best move in the game, or one of the best moves in the game. It's apparently still pretty good. I haven't checked it out yet. I will. But say, for example, that they were just to lift that off Devil Jin. It didn't have it anymore, and they just put it on Paul or Elisa or any other character. Those characters would become so much better. But is that how you want to balance your roster? Do you want to have moves that are too good and pass them around the roster like some sort of hot potato made of solid dog shit? Or do you actually want to think a little bit more in depth about, what kind of character you're trying to make? I'm sounding very critical here, but it's because I'm a little bit confused about that Lars change. Overall, I'm obviously very excited about this patch, and I love what they've done to most of my characters. I'm super on the fence about Eliza, so the characters I'm most excited about playing going forward right now is Alisa and Miguel, and then I'm gonna try and during tomorrow get into Anna, because she's a character that I like. I'm not, Lei is not my cup of tea. I'm definitely gonna check him out, but Anna just might be, so we're gonna do some Anna as well. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you are as excited about Season 2 as I am. And I haven't read all the patch notes yet, but I hope your characters got a fair treatment as well. But again, what a cool time to be a Tekken player. Thank you so much for watching all the videos that I've been cranking out over these past days. It's been really intense and busy for me, and you guys have shown amazing support. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. We'll play some Anna, maybe we'll play some of Elisa and Miguel online. Maybe we'll dig deeper into the Lars mystery. But for now, let all of your friends know that if they are saying that they love Lars and they're so happy that they're going to get to play Lars again, let them know that unless they were playing Lars before he got this 12 frame move, then they're full of shit and they should stick to their actual mains. Otherwise, they're just jumping, onto the flavor of the month most powerful character, which he might not be despite the fact that he has this move. It remains to be seen what's going to happen with the meta game. That's really the main thing. It's not how does this character exist and function in a vacuum. It's how are they going to function in a competitive environment, considering all the other changes that are happening. Who knows, maybe the most powerful character in the game by far right now is Lei. It's too early to tell. Maybe he's amazing. We don't know yet, but we will, and I'll be here to explore together with you. And yeah, I hope you keep showing up. I'm gonna stop babbling on right now and just play some online, have some fun, and then get some sleep. But thank you for now, and I'll see you guys again very soon.